25 years ago, although in the American educational system, teaching and learning Chinese has long been in existence, it has been mainly offered at the post-secondary level for college students who study Chinese in linguistics, literature, or comparative studies. There were very few high school, middle school, and elementary school programs in existence. The very first changing of landscape took place in 1982 when the Geraldine Dodge Foundation offered funding for 60 high schools to start up a Chinese program. And those high schools were chosen because of their proximity to the nearby universities where Chinese was offered, so that students could continue their Chinese beyond their secondary school experience. And thanks to the Geraldine Dodge Foundation's seed money, not only it has created some of the longest running programs in the nation, but it also has created the K12 pioneers of Chinese education and model schools to lead this vast land of Chinese field. Now let's take a look at the landscape today. As soon as we move into the 21st century, the entire world witnesses China's extraordinary rise in every aspect, particularly in economic advancement. Michael Elliott, the editor of Time International, described this phenomenon as follows. Watching China now is like being in one of those science fiction movies where you can see a whole new planet take shape before your eyes. China's remarkable transformation begins to change and impact on every aspect and every country in the world. But no other countries interact more closely or intensely with China than the United States. When President Obama visited China recently, he made a statement that the U.S. would seek to send 100,000 students to China over the coming 4 years. And this statement suggests that this will be a 5-time increase over 20,000 American students who are currently studying in China. This would also suggest that in the next few years, that we're going to prepare 80,000 more K-16 students to be proficient in Chinese so that they could interact with Chinese people in China. And I see this increase in number of students studying Chinese as a challenge, but at the same time, a golden opportunity that never existed before to move this field forward. With this changing landscape today, something notable in the K12 Chinese teaching field I have noticed surfaced, and I would like to mention a few. First, now we begin to see teaching Chinese by design, as opposed to teaching Chinese haphazardly or without connection from one level to the next. There seems to have more articulated programs in the field offering Chinese students a long sequence program at K-12 schools, and even to continue to the advanced level through programs such as Flagship and in college. More and more Chinese language curricula set goals for students to not only develop Chinese skills, but also obtain the skills and knowledge in other subject areas such as science, math, engineering, technology, through interdisciplinary approach. And I noticed this methodical planning and design in teaching Chinese. Second, there are more professional development opportunities available for Chinese teachers today. These opportunities are funded by various government agencies, colleges and universities, local and/or Chinese government. And I would like to name a few here. Of course, most notably, AP-related summer institute and workshops offered throughout the year by the College Board. The FLAP grant that supports schools that already have Chinese program in place. and the Star Talk program for both teachers and students of Chinese, and numerous collaborations between schools and the Confucius Institutes. And there will be more such professional development with recently established Confucius classrooms. And I would also like to mention Hanban's annual support for the members of Chinese Language Association of Secondary Elementary Schools, also known as CLASS class, ever since 2004. And locally, I would like to take Boston and New England, for instance. There have been Chinese teacher seminars offering workshops twice a year already for the past 7 years. And of course, there are actually more professional development activity, and there will be more professional development activity for Chinese teachers in the future. Third, I have noticed that collaboration taking place between the K12 and post-secondary educators. Since 3 years ago, at the ACTFL's annual conference, the K12 and post-secondary educators have been planning together a forum to discuss issues on K16 articulation. And one of the outcomes of the forum was a decision to extend the current K12 Chinese language standards to include a secondary level so that a K16 Chinese language standards could become available for post-secondary educators. Fourth, I've seen more heritage school Chinese language teachers express their interest in teaching in the mainstream schools. And they have been taking professional development opportunities, such as Star Talk programs, ACTFL and class co-sponsored workshops, regional and local professional development, or college certificate courses to prepare themselves to teach in the mainstream schools. And last one I've noticed, I'd like to mention, is that nowadays, students of Chinese take Chinese with a purpose in mind, which rarely happened in the past. And I'd like to mention a case. This is a young man in Erie, Pennsylvania, who told his teacher that because of his family business in China, he would like to take Chinese so that he could carry on his family business in China. And in that sense, K12 Chinese program today would help students equip with indispensable skills for their future career. As the field continues to develop, we're going to face challenges that we probably have never faced before. For example, in the area of teacher preparation and recruitment. How and where do we find qualified teachers? What kind of ongoing professional development could we provide for our teachers? And who support our teachers and prevent teacher burnout? In the area of professional development, could we provide virtual professional development instead of face-to-face one? Could we provide fast-track education to retrain those who are switching from other career into teaching? Could we train more mentors, coaches, leaders in the field through professional development? In the areas of resource sharing, could we help those schools who are short of funding to start up a Chinese program? Could we share resources more effectively through technology? And finally, in the areas of building close-knit professional learning community, we would like to eliminate the feeling of isolation for singleton teachers out in the field. And how could we build a network that gives teachers of Chinese a sense of belonging? And how could we all become contributing members in such a virtual community? So I think at this conference, these issues will be discussed and will be the center of discussion. And all we need to collect our wisdom to find out best solutions in order to build capacity for the field so that I think we could build a more promising landscape in the future. Thank you.